Everybody gonna do a 3-2 blitz game. 1955. Good old Sicilian. I am trying out King's Indian attack against multiple openings now. Sicilian being one. Let's block his pawn push. French being another. I mean, I may be able to just turn this into an accelerated dragon. He's kind of doing this. I think this is the Grand Prix. I'm starting to get a little better at recognizing it. Yeah, I think this is all pretty standard for him. Let's just go for it. He's going to bring his queen over here, I think. Bring it in here. I'm going to try some counterplay of pushing pawns. I think this can distract him so that I can attack this pawn. Also stops his bishop from coming in. Not that his bishop can move easily. Okay, I see why. It's probably better not to take that. Let's move out of the way. Maybe I can swing in here if he doesn't take with the knight by here. Idea being here, attacking the rook. Oh, kind of opens me up now, doesn't it? I think I can do this safely. Safely for now. Okay, that's a good move. I double attack on this pawn, but I have to be careful. I'm thinking he comes in here, but I don't know if that's great for him. Now that he's done this, I can take this back with the queen rather than he wants a trade. I'm going to refuse the trade. I'm still defending this pawn. Bishop's still now tied, even though my queen's off this file. Okay, that move makes sense. Let's see if we can distract his knight or create a weakness of this pawn. Okay, weakness of pawns it is. I can take this knight right now and win a pawn, but it creates some weaknesses on my dark squares. Just tough to deal with, but maybe there's something to it. Let's try it. Because this bishop was protecting the pawn that his queen was doubled up on. He can develop his bishop safely to here or here now that his queen protects. He might even just bring it in here. Yeah. I think it makes more sense to castle. Now I can't castle this way because once I get there, his bishop eyes me up. So instead, let's challenge the bishop, eyeing this square at some point. Okay. Again, I don't think I'm castling this way. It's too weak. This way sucks, but it's a little better. Okay. He has blocked himself for the open file. If his queen moves over here, his rook here is probably best, but if his queen moves away somewhere, this is a weak square that I can try to take advantage of. Let's go after this pawn and mate. Check doesn't really do anything, not without a rook there. He's got to defend that first. So probably here, maybe there. Although then I just take this pawn. Yep, take this pawn. If he goes here, I think I almost have some mate ideas. Probably bring my bishop here, try to check. By a back rank, rook takes checkmate. Bishop and rook can block, but ultimately it's not mate because he brings her queen back, but I would win it back. I think I'd be up, if he didn't give up the bishop, I'd be up rook, bishop to rook, I think. Yeah, so let's do this first. Block any check ideas. Get the mate threat available. He's probably going to push a pawn. This blocks, I mean, if he wastes time with this, he loses a piece, I think. I think he loses an entire rook. No. Rook. Yeah. I get both rooks and queen. I give up queen, rook in the end. And if he doesn't do it, or if he falls for it, you'll see. If not, I'll go after what I was talking about after this game. He also loses a bishop at this point. Yeah, so this is the threat. I win a piece. Right? Oh no, so he slides this way. No, if he goes there, I take with bishop. It's an interesting idea. Let's see if it works. Rook slides back. Rook, oh, this has to take actually. Let's do this. Let's win both rooks for a queen. This is not mate, is it? It's not pretty. Thank you, rook, for saving this rook. He has to be careful. He doesn't have many squares. Yeah, let's bring this guy safely back here. Threaten mate again. I think he's going to come here. This is my only move. Now there's no good checks. At check here, he just loses to check from me. So let's safely back over here. Maybe not. Maybe let's go here. I want to be able to retreat in here. Safe on a light square, not here where there's mate threats. Right there. Plus if I move, he takes this pawn. Okay, let's go with here. This is protected. I can slide back and eye up this pawn. Okay, that does not do anything, I don't think. Oh, let's check first. Check, and then I will ultimately unite the rooks. I may not be able to actually. Not yet. Let's eye this pawn up. How to come out actually. Oh, that's a good move. Okay, let's go here. Cool, that's where I wanted to go. Thank you for helping me out. Then I'll probably slide over here so I can free my rook to move. This is not a great square for him. Let's attack this pawn. Cannot save it, I don't think. And now he's in a tough threat, and I win a queen. He has to, yeah, that's pretty good. So he had to take here because he's in check. I take, no, first I check. He moves, oh, it's mate, never mind. That was all forced. I thought originally just I takes here, he takes here, maybe not there, maybe here first. Defend this pawn. Let's go back to that thing I was talking about just to show it, and then we'll look at the whole game. Yeah, it turned out to be a pretty good sacrifice there. My king was weirdly safe over here once he let this happen. But if he did this, so it was check, what I planned anyway, I didn't see this right away. Takes, 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 takes. Of course, he doesn't have to block with the bishop, and in that way, he would block with the rook. Takes, queen, takes, and I would be up a bishop like I thought. Gives me a chance to move this somewhere. Eye up this. So really, if he did anything different, and I did this, he just slides back. So the threat wasn't as big as I thought. With this bishop out of the way, I think he planned to block my bishop, because once he did what he did, which was this, this bishop is now pinned. So by doing this, I can't actually win a piece. Not that it would. Let's go to the other variation and see. Would it win a piece if he did this? See, like now, because I can do that, I would be up, and I've had some check threats. He'd probably have to do this. But I don't win anything. Don't think. Yeah, there's no good place to move this. Probably just protect my rook. He moves up. I don't know. It would have been very similar, actually. But game-wise, Grand Prix attack, I think, is what it was, yes. When you do F4 on move 3, it's possible I could accelerate a dragon this because he's not going to Moroxy bind. But, I don't know. The idea is to trade off this bishop for this knight. This knight usually is pretty good to come up here. And I don't think my knight should have come here. He probably should have come here, maybe push and then come in there. This is not as big a weakness with the d-pawn still there. It's usually just a weakness when there is no d-pawn. Force him to take. I usually like doing an accelerated dragon, but it's not. You know, there's other ways to play against it. So he was threatening checkmate, so I don't want to take here because if I take, he slides over. That looks really bad. So in the game, I mean, I could also take here, but again, that weakens the dark squares. I thought this was pretty good. Take here. And I liked taking this pawn, keeping the structure intact. Yeah, so I wanted to distract him. If he went there, then I was going to castle. But since he weakened his pawn, that eventually became a weakness for me. He has an isolated queen pawn. It's a little backwards because it's not on the 4th or 5th rank. Taking here wins a pawn. Can't castle. Forces him to reposition. So that was a nice little move. But it blocks this open file. Which kind of allows me to castle in some ways. I don't know if this queen does anything down here. Maybe better is to move here and then bring the bishop and go for mate. Because check, I just, as you saw, move up. Yeah, this was a mistake, I think. Disconnecting the rooks is usually a mistake, but going this way kind of could lead to smothers too, so that's probably best. Also, just bring the queen back. And then we saw this variation we just did. As long as there's no mate, I'm okay. This is a little better. As long as I can get this rook and this rook on the same file like I tried to do, then it's fine. I think this pawn move was actually pretty good. Don't worry about this structure. He can't push this pawn easily. At any chance, I can bring this bishop back here. Yeah, I think this is all fine. Now he needs this bishop to stay here to block my rooks, because once I get them connected, it's more powerful than a queen. Slightly. He's just kind of wasting pawn moves, I think. Actually, no, I couldn't take the bishop because I thought he had to go here, but this pins my piece. Let's get on the same file just because it's scary for him. I mean, this is coming at some point maybe, but I can't really do it easily. So if he stayed here and did something else, I don't know, reposition his king, maybe start to bring it into the battle. I don't know, I feel better off. I have this pass pawn supported by another pawn. I think I was better off here the whole time. And then this is just really bad. There's nothing he can really do. Check. He is forced to go back here. Check again with the bishop. And as we saw, it's actually mate. So let's see what the engine thinks. Turn this on. Always curious to see this. I don't know. I don't play the opening perfectly against the Grand Prix because I don't really see it that often. But I don't play this French variation of Sicilian, so I wouldn't do that. Yeah. So it is saying the hyper accelerated, hyper being, or actually advanced. Hyper would be when this is still back here. Advanced because this pawn has not moved to the d6 square, so it's an idea. And so far it says 1 blunder for him, 3 inaccuracies for me. Nothing crazy yet. Okay, that kind of makes sense to push that pawn, but I like attacking the weakness of this pawn. This bishop really didn't do much until the very end. Doesn't say this move's bad, doesn't say much of it. Wants me to trade. And then this pawn taking's not isolated, it's just kind of a weird pawn structure, actually, so I wasn't crazy about that. Yeah, and I took this pawn. Everything's pretty much following the book, or the engine, what they want. I didn't like this move. I guess safer is just to go here. Again, I didn't really intend to castle this way. Castling queenside was kind of what I wanted to do. There's some sort of tactic here. What is it? Check. King takes. I don't see any material gains. Check. What is this? Just get a draw? Ah, freaking engines. All they ever want is draws. Yeah, I play to win. So queen to e2, rook up. It did not say it was bad. Just that's weird. It says he's better off here. It says he's still better off, but that this move was bad. Yeah, like I thought, this was a better place for the bishop. It said this was a blunder. What? If I move somewhere else, he wins this bishop, I think. Yeah, ooh, that's pretty cool. Check, right? Maybe, oh, no, not there. This here. Ew. If I move, check. It's mate in 7. I didn't see all this. Ugh, okay. Yeah, so that's why that's a blunder. So this was fine. Take, check for no reasons. Yeah, this game, you should have taken this pawn. I didn't see that either. Why would I do that? It's better to have your rooks, guys. So what are you talking about? Okay. Moves. I guess I didn't have to bring my bishop back. I could have pushed like I wanted to and then came in here. Okay. That time it didn't like f6. Okay, that makes sense because then I'd have to be going this way. I mean, this is a good square to go to if I have the time. But if I don't, then this was his blunder, yeah. He has no way to defend this without giving up